First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. No guests today, and next week we're going to have Stan Harley and Peter Leides. I didn't know if we were going to be on the air, and their time is quite valuable, so they decided to come on next week, which was okay. I'd like to start the show today with the human interest story. The picture you're seeing there is a picture of Dr. Steve Shapiro, my good buddy. My grandma told me, she said, if you go to your great reward and you've got two people there at your grave besides your family, you're going to be a lucky man. Well, this is one of those guys, folks. He's had my back for so many years, taught me so much, and he's only 77. And they told me on Monday, I get back a little bit, on Monday, my high school buddy, who all went through college with and everything, he was my best man at my wedding, went to the doctor, and he was doing really good. He was sitting in the waiting room, waiting for his wife to pick him up, and he died of a heart attack in the waiting room. Just fell asleep and never woke up. On Tuesday afternoon, I got a notice that Dr. Shapiro had 4 hours to live. The doctor said he had COVID. He was in intensive care. He was bleeding internally and basically had no chance. So I was not in a very good mood on Tuesday and Wednesday. And yesterday at about 10 o'clock last night, I got the message that Dr. Steve woke up and he was asking for some cereal. So he's doing okay. That tells you something about doctors, folks. And this was what my grandpa told me once. He said, you can tell that being a doctor is the greatest profession in all the world. I said, why is that? No. He says, well, because they're the most honest profession in all the world. I said, why is that? He says, right on their shingle, when you walk into the office, it says, Dr. Luigi Pepperoni, practice of medicine. He said, what you want to do? He says, you want to go to see the doctor that says, I no longer practice. I'll get it right. But unfortunately, that's the way life is. But he's okay. He's not out of the woods. He's still in intensive care, but at least he's doing all right. I did get to speak with him for a few moments. We had a few laughs. The question I asked, I said, I got this picture of you from Atlantic City 3 weeks ago, but I can't tell which one is you. I said, are you the one with the hat? And then he started to laugh, so I knew he was going to be all right. At least I think he is. Okay, let me tell you Steve Shapiro's story. I told it many times. It's my favorite. And sitting there with Steve, trading there in Pismo Beach. Bryce was staying at the house. Bryce was going to play golf. We were waiting to sell treasury bonds, and Bryce couldn't trade bonds because he couldn't trade anything because he was in Australia. They couldn't trade anything from Australia if you were an Australian citizen, so I was letting him use my account. He said, sell me five, I can't remember the exact price, but he said, sell me 5 September bonds at 10103. And I said, okay. I said, where's the stop? He said, 10104. I said, Bryce, you cannot put a stop on something one tick in the largest, futures market that we have. That's insanity. He looked at me and he said, let me tell you something. He said, if those bonds hit 104, I'm going to take all these books and I'm going to go down to that Pismo Beach Pier and I'm going to throw all these frickin' books into the water and I'm going to get back into my car, go back to Los Angeles, buy a few cars, and ship them back to Australia and doing what I was doing before I started doing this trading gig. I said, you got to be kidding me. He says, no. So I'm not kidding you, folks. The market goes up and hits 103, 103, 103, 103. It took a half an hour to get filled. And we finally got filled, and he was just getting ready to leave. And he was down in the driveway. And, of course, there was a little foyer, a little balcony. And the bonds had dropped 20 points. Boom, just like that. And Steve yelled down to him, hey, Bryce, he said, the bonds are starting to work. He said, they just broke 20 points. And Bryce yelled up, cover the position. And I walked over to the balcony. I said, cover the position. I said, been waiting 2 hours to get filled, and now you want to cover it? He said, cover the position. I'm happy. I said, well, if you're happy, I'm happy. I go back in. By the time I got back to the computer, they were down a full point. So he had made $5,000, okay? I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. Later on that evening, around 6 o'clock, we had a bunch of guests in from Chicago, so we went to our favorite steak place. And never said a word about what happened. You know, he was happy about his bond trade and everything. Folks, bonds closed 3 points lower, limit down at that time. And that was 15,000. He left 10 grand on the table. Hey, nothing. Hey, I'm just saying that everybody makes mistake. Raise my hand, Bubba. I know that. You know that. A lot of things are happening. Let's get back to these markets. I know that you don't want to hear any of this human interest stuff, but it's important to me because as you get older, you know, by golly, these things go and they go very, very fast, as you can say. All right, let's take a look here at 2 markets that really deserve our attention. The first market here is the gold market. Let's get this up here because if you like ABCD, and we do like ABCD here, you'll see there's where we are. And you'll see this is where we were yesterday. You'll see we came down. You can see the perfect ABCDs. There's 2 of them right here. The larger one right there, and then the smaller one right here. And the number came to 1618. My goodness, why could it be 1618? 1618? Are you kidding me? Well, the low was 1622, and we rallied a whole lot. This tells us that this is probably a pretty good rally because we went from 22 all the way up to 74. We rallied $50 in 2 days. So I said to the folks, I said, look, if you miss buying that, the one thing that we can depend on is our good old 382, because if it works, you don't have to worry about too much as far as risk is involved. I said your risk would probably be only about $5. Okay, this is what I was saying in the videos that I sent out. Watch for a 382 retracement down into this level. Folks, we went $1 below the 382 retracement, and then we went up and made new highs. We rallied over $22. Now, if you do that type of trade and you buy the 382 and it starts to move, you don't risk anything more than what's under the 382. I mean, you just, you know, if it's going to work on the 382, it might go to 50%. It might go to 61. It might go to 78% retracement. We never know what's going to happen next. And that's why trading is so doggone much fun. Hell, if we knew what was going to happen next, it wouldn't be any fun. You know, am I correct on that? I mean, I watch it every day, so it's not a big surprise to me. So anyway, that's what we're looking at in the gold market. Now, those of you that like 382 patterns, and we do like 382 patterns here, we're going to take a look at one of the ones we've been following for a very long time, and all I've got to do is to find the little rascal, because I've had it up here. It's the numero uno thing to talk about today. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. And I think it is this it? Bada bing. Nope, that's the other one. I've got to show you 2 different things that I think are extremely, extremely important here. And I will get it back up here in just a second. I know it's right here somewhere. And I think this is it. It's the one right in front of it. And there it is. Hold on now. We got it up here running. This is the old stop and pee, folks. We'll be right back. Wow, where does the time go? 877-927-6648.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the E-mini S&P over the last 5 or 6 days. You can see here we've been up to that area of 3730 several times. The 382 on the rally yesterday came in at 3745. The high was 3753, I believe. And from then, of course, we went down and we've almost tested new lows. Should we close below those new lows, folks? That's not going to be a very good sign, because if this was a one-day wonder as far as a rally, very, very strange. Now, the last 2 hours of the day are extremely important today, folks. You know, I do a lot of work with timing. Most of it comes from the AI program plus the Floor Traders Handbook. And when they're trying to hold a market together like they are right now, because we're 2 standard deviations away, below that 36 level, 3590, breaks 2 standard deviations. And should we break that today, folks, you do not want to be long stocks Friday, Monday, or Tuesday, because something nasty is most probably going to happen. Now, if we can rally and get above this 37.45 level, that will be a fact that will make an ABCD to the upside. But watch the next 2 hours of the day, starting with the time that this program is over. We should be making some type of a bottom, I would think, around that time. And then if we can hold that bottom, and in fact, if it's making new lows after 1230, I would be very, very suspect. Now, this is mathematical approach to the markets, folks. Nothing more, nothing less. But mathematics sometimes works, just like anything else. A broken clock works twice a day. Okay, now let's talk about something that's in the news a lot. And if you like to learn about some of the things that we do here, I want with technical analysis, I want to show you. This is the British pound. Now remember, folks, we send these out before they happen. So as you're seeing this yesterday, when we sent this out along with the video, you'll see that we were looking. This is a daily, folks. This is a daily British pound, and I just want you to show you what was happening here, okay? Now this it happens to be You can see the 382 retracement right here. There's your A, B, C, D leg right here. You see the time down in the move is exactly equal to the time down. And where does it rally to? Exactly to the 382. And then it comes down and makes a bottom and then makes an A, B, C, D. And that tells us that the British pound should have an A, B, C, D probably up around 111. The low we had down here was 103. From where we closed last night to where we are right now was a little more than 300 pips. Now, you don't have to see fundamentals. There's no fundamental stuff on here. There's no stochastics, right? There isn't. There's no bands of any kind. Okay? I mean, there's no technical analysis on here other than A, B, C, D, and the Fibonacci ratios of 382. Two factors to determine whether you want to trade or not. So what we're going to do now, thanks to modern technology, is move forward in time and see what happens. So you'll never guess. You know it works. Otherwise, I certainly wouldn't show one. If I showed the patterns that didn't work, folks, I'd need a 5-hour show. Honest to God, I would. Okay, but look at it here. There's exactly the number right up here. Hit it spot on at the 382. Does that mean it's going to stop? No. It just means it hit the 382 for the third time in the last 2.5 weeks. So pay attention to that. And it, not only that, but it's what? It's A, B, C. Here it is. A, B, C, and D. That's what you're looking at right here. Now, on a longer term basis, if you went back and looked at higher highs on this, back a little farther, you can also make a case that we could get all the way up here to 118. Frankly, I don't know whether we will or not, and a lot of it will depend on whether we'll be making new lows today in the stock market. Because if we start making new lows today in the stock market, it's not going to look good. Because that, stop and think, the Dow Jones rallies 600 points and it's already given 500 points of it back. And if it makes any lower, it's going to look pretty queasy, would be my guess. So let's keep that in mind as we do this. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to change gears here just a little bit to let you folks see what I'm looking at technically, so you'll be able to pay attention to it and you'll get a rough idea of what I'm watching here. And here's where we are right now. Where's the S&P? Here it is right here. Hold on just a second here. There's where we are. I get it right here. Okay, now I'm going to show you the importance of where we are. Just a second here. Hey, look, folks, I'm doing this as much for you as I am for me, because I don't like to see anybody lose money unless they're supposed to lose money, and that's a totally different thing here. So let's get this back here, get up here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, just a minute. Don't let an Italian try to do two things at once. It doesn't work. Okay, where is it? Shouldn't have tried to do that. It's right here. It just takes me a while to see it. Hold on. Okay, now what I'm looking at here, this green line is the line that we've been forecasting should be happening today. And as the fortune would give us, you'll see it's been following nicely. This is given to us the night before. Basically, folks, it's what this is. It's so simple. I'm going to tell you someday, and I might as well do it now. All this green line is the same thing that happened on Tuesday. So today is Thursday. Go back and look at the action of where the highs and lows were made on Tuesday. It's a 70% probability that that's what's going to happen. So the market skips a beat. So what it does on Tuesday, it's going to do on Thursday. So look, right when we finish our show here, okay, the market's supposed to rally. The problem is this last part of the day is the least accurate of the other 266 bars. So because we've gone through 200 and some bars, now we're into the last part of the range. If this fails here, this just means that this is not going to happen and the opposite's going to happen. So when we're coming in here and in a half an hour making new lows and we don't start to rally, and we're not rallying after 12:30, let's call that 12:30, 3, is that 3:30? See, 11, well, 11 o'clock, 2. Yeah, if you're not rallying, see, 11 to be 2, if you're not rallying by 2:30 with an hour and a half to go, lights out. That's going to be but hey, anything could happen, and it usually does. So anyway, that's what we're paying attention to there. Okay, getting back to another one. We had a bonsai day yesterday, folks, with the gold, and we had also the natural gas. Boy, the natural gas was flashing green. Let me just get this up. Here it is right here. This is about everything that you could possibly ask for. Just a second. This next part is the most interesting for me for the whole time that I have you here for an hour, because I want to show you what happens, to some of these markets. Look at this market, folks. It's a perfect A, B, C, D. So when I send the video out, I want to check and see if we've got anything that's going to tell us that, yeah, we're getting close to an A, B, C, D here near this 78% level. And if you can stay tuned for just a little bit longer, you'll get the answer. 877-927-6648.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I posted the 8-minute chart of natural gas. Folks, we used to think pork bellies were the wildest thing in the world. This puts pork bellies in a coma. I want you to see this, folks. You can see right here in the middle of this little 8-minute ABCD here perfectly. It measures A, B, C, D. That tells you the exact low here at 559.50. The low is 559.10. From there, we had one humongous rally, rallied all the way up to 713. Isn't that truly amazing? And when I said in the video, I said, there's a huge thing in here. I said, make sure you protect yourself. I said, should the market get below 382, make sure you protect yourself. I said, but to make that much money that quickly, I said, you have to use your own judgment. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm putting my stop right here at the 701 level. That way it would lock in a really nice profit, and that's what I decided that I was going to do. You will not believe the action that we had in natural gas, folks. You believe in 382 patterns, folks? Okay, let's take a look here at that same chart, only what we're going to do is we're going to move it backwards about 2 days, and you're going to be able to see why we stopped, where we stopped yesterday in the natural gas. I saw it after it happened, of course. Like I've said many times, I do my best work in patterns that have already completed. But as you can see here, from the high that we made back here 5 days ago, there was your exact 382 coming in at 715. And we came all the way back down and made a double bottom in here possibly, because we hit that double bottom again at 559 today, and we've already rallied $20. I mean, that's a $20, that's a huge amount. That's equivalent to 40 handles in the S&P. So it's a pretty wild one, but it works really good when it works. But when it doesn't work, you got to stand aside. The first sign that a 382 does not work is when it closes above the 382 line by 2 bars. In other words, if it closes there once, no big deal. Closes there twice, it's a big deal. Then you might be wrong. So that's what we're paying attention to when we're watching these. Remember, we're trading against these algorithmic traders, and these dudes know pretty much what they're doing all the time, because all they're dealing with is numbers. That's all they're dealing with. There's nothing more or nothing less that they work on, and that's pretty much it. You got to pay attention to that particular thing. It's extremely, extremely important. Okay, now I wanted to cover, we've covered the British pound and a few other things, but I also wanted to get in to the dollar index. And let's get this up here, because we had this on the show on Monday. I showed you that there was a probability, because we were at this long-term 1.618 on the daily. Let's get it up here so we can all see it. You can see the ABCD patterns, just like in the gold and stuff. Of course, this is the reverse of the gold. When the dollar is weak, gold is strong. You can see here we went right up to the 1.618. Look at the 382 pullback we had here, and look what happened. We had the biggest down move in the dollar index in about 2 weeks. Now, that appears that it could be something really dramatic. But remember, folks, if we get above this level up here, and not only that, but this thing's still working with the stock market selling off. So that tells you everything's selling off. Whether that means much or not, I don't know, but that's just telling you where you are. So let's pay close attention to some of these things that we're watching here, because it's a big deal. It really is. So if we can get above this, it's all hands on deck. But until that time, we should get a correction, and the correction should come down into here, right about 110. You see where the old breakout was right here. We had the old ABCDs right here. We have a nice little 7-day pullback right at the 382. Everybody said that was the top of the dollar. Wrong. Boom, away it went. I'm not even saying this is the top of the dollar. All I'm saying is this was a top in the dollar, because the only way this thing doesn't work is if we start getting below this line right here. Below 110, it's going to signal, hey, boys and girls, this might be it. And remember, this was very close to the 78% level on the monthly chart. So keep that in mind as you're watching some of these things working here today. We also had a question about Apple, and I don't really know the stock. The only Apple product I own is a Nano. I've had that for a very long time, and I really enjoy it, but I don't know anything other than it's started by Steve Jobs and Wozniak and those other dudes that were doing it. So there was a lot of other patterns that of course were happening, but the main was, I think, with the dollar, the gold, the S&P, the British pound, and of course the euro. The euro is having a nice rally. We're a little above the 382 of the last 382, which is a good sign. So that tells us this rally may or may not have legs. And so we want to be very, very close to seeing this stuff unfold as we go through and look at some of these things. So I just hope that helps. Some of the stuff that we're watching here today, and that would make it pretty good. Okay, wow, the natural gas just exploded to the upside. See, in the last, last half hour? It sure has. We're back up to 594, folks. Unbelievable. We were down here. This is the second time we've hit it. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? That is really, truly amazing. We're back up there all the way again. Holy cow. We've already retraced. We've moved $3,000 to the upside in the natural gas. Are you joking me? Wow, that's an amazing accomplishment. Hold on just a second. I have to show you this one, folks, here, because it's and then I'll tell you a really funny story if you want to hear it. Here's the chart I want to give you. Just give me a second and I'll get this up here. This triggered because we just went above the 61% retracement, and I wanted to know that, and I'll get this up here and show you. And there's where you are, folks. Look at this, folks. There was your double bottom right down here. Remember, this was the same bottom we had yesterday, way back here. There's your 382 of that, and you've already rallied back to the 61% retracement. And so, there was a place to buy it. Your bottom was due. There was your 61% retracement. I didn't buy that, folks. The reason why is I had a lot of things on my mind. I lost one friend, almost lost another one. So I said, it's better scale back. I have one position on, and if you can guess what it is, you'll win a free ticket to wherever you want to go if you can find someone to buy it for you. That's pretty much what I can guarantee you. So anyway, that's what we're paying attention to here with this. But we're coming up to the key time now here. In the stock indices, and we're doing the wrong thing, folks. We're rallying, and that shouldn't happen. So, what is this? I don't know what that is. That's oh dear, I didn't even want to answer that one. That's another one from my old friends. Oh dear, that's Eddie Horowitz's wife, and I know he's in bad shape too. I got to turn this phone off. Sorry, folks. I really don't know what else to do here. Get this thing turned off. Sarah is not here, so I wasn't expecting to be on today. That's why I just get this thing turned off here. Sorry, we'll get it power off. Yeah, that's what I do. 1.6. Yeah, it used to be able to turn a telephone off, and that was it. Okay, it's off. All right, now. Question. Someone's asked a question about Apple again, and I don't. Well, since everybody's asking a question, let me just get the chart up. The chart, I know. I do know the chart. That's flat out. I can do that as well as just about anybody that can do AB equals CD. That's all we got to worry about, folks. AB equals CD. And here's Apple coming up here. And we'll be right back, boys and girls. 877-927-6648.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Well, folks, another miracle has happened today, and that is somebody got through on the telephone lines here at TFNN, and I think it's Mr. Z from Philly. John, how are you doing?
Larry, good to hear your voice, sir. Sorry to hear about your 2 pals, and I did have to call up the ghost of Alexander Graham Bell to get through to you, but we did it.
I don't know how you did it, pal. It's almost a miracle. What can I do for you, buddy?
Larry, I wanted to first thank you for sharing the parameters that are guiding your view on the S&P futures. And I did want to, in conjunction with that, ask you about how you are factoring in the roadmap laid out by Larry Williams. You very graciously referred us to a video presentation he gave back, that was approximately, I think it was September 8th or 9th.
10th.
And you made reference, of course, after we peaked on the 12th of September and then fell real hard. I think it was, down 4% that day of the CPI. I think that was September 13th. Noting how much you respected his work and how he had nailed that particular term. Mm-hmm. So with all that as background, I will just restate his view, namely that a decline from mid to late September was highly likely. Well, that's occurred. And his roadmap was, or still is, frankly, that decline bottoms and then rallies hard in his vocabulary. And I know he's doing a webinar conference. I think it's associated with stockcharts.com sometime in the next 10 days or so. But given that he had looked for a decline in advance, which we've got, and a bottom, but then a sharp rally. How does that factor into your thinking about things, please?
It factors perfectly, John, because we feel that, October is the month for the more lows than any other month. And, the key dates that we're looking at, I think we've had 5 guests on that have been very bearish for a long time, and they're all looking sometime in October. And so I think if we rely on some of these dates, the first one is October the 3rd. That's next week, of course. And then after that, I can't remember the dates offhand. I don't write them down. I rely on the guests. See, there was Stan Harley, Tim Boast, Jeff Huge, Peter Leides, and Stan Harley. and Norman Winsky, all of them saying that, we're going to be down sometime into October. Now, the one thing this market hasn't had, John, is it hasn't had any fear. I mean, market goes down 4%, and no big deal. That's a big deal when the market drops 4%. And we're down a lot in just the last, months or so. So I think once we get that fear factor in and people get we haven't seen a real shakeout like we did in the bonds. We're down, but, this is no big deal. So as soon as we get that big shakeout, then you'll be able to get some time. My target on this, John, is 3185 in the S&P. That's 500 points from where it is, a little less than 500 points from where it is right now. And, if it goes 200 points a day, it could be there in 2 days. So, but 3185, I'm sticking with that. That's a double ABCD. It's on the weekly. It's got everything that you could possibly ask for, time, price. And that's what we try to factor everything in on. So I'm sticking with that one.
Gotcha. No, that's very clear. I appreciate you going through all that for me. The way some of these big tech names are breaking, and just in the past, 2 days, Apple in particular and Tesla's coming down today, and all the semiconductors, they're starting to get, they've been hits. That's no new news to anybody, but they keep extending and are doing so just today. So terrific. I appreciate your reference points, and we'll send some white light to your pal, Mr. Shapiro.
Yeah, he's a tough old bird. I have to give him credit. He does really good. So I'm really glad he's doing well. I will when you're off here, John. I'm going to post in the room here where I come up with this number of 3185. You'll see it's a weekly chart, and it's very harmonic. I mean, there's nothing startling technical analysis wise, but if you look at this, there was our COVID low right here. We dropped that much. And you can see I just repeated that red line. And what did it do? We repeated here to give us this bottom right here. And if you add that red line to it again, bada bing, bada boom, 3185. So, but John.
Simplicity is the epitome of clarity. So thank you.
That's right. And simplicity beats complexity. Absolutely. What I think will happen, John, is after we hit 3185, we are going to have a heck of a rally. And then the one after that is going to be, that's the rally you want to watch, because if that rally is only a 382 off of 3175, look out, Gertrude, because we'll be looking at something around 1700 in the S&P or maybe even lower. So we got to be careful.
I'll just reiterate and bring you up to date upon an observation I shared with you, you and a bunch of other people in the Tiger's Den back, I shared it back somewhere around September 5th, September 10th, namely the very curious ssimilarity between the bear market that started January 4th in the S&P this year and the bear market that started October 11th, 2007. And you might recall the charts just from vague memory, namely in 2007 into, 07 into March of 08 was down something like 160 calendar days. Mm-hmm. This go round, it was 160. If this analog continues to track, the S&P bear market continues way out into June of next year. Of course, we don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's very curious to my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have to agree with you, my friend. So let's see what happens and say our prayers for everybody that needs them. That's for sure.
Larry, thanks so much.
Yeah, but John, one question for you. How's your mother doing?
Funny you should ask. She passed away just in the past month or two.
Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that. I lost mine when I was a young kid. She was only 48 years old, so I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. But she led a good life, and I'll tell you one thing:
she lived a very good, very long life. So,
and she raised one hell of a good boy too. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us, buddy. We'll share some white light too. John Cheveney, folks. That's one of the reasons why you want to go in the Tiger Den. He is one smart cookie, let me tell you. Okay, folks, we're at magic time right now. We got to start rallying here, or it's good night, Charlie. We just made new lows like we're supposed to. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, we just hit the time that I was waiting. We made new lows right here. As you can see, this is the NASDAQ. And this should start to go up, and give yourself 10 or 15 minutes, because if it's not going up in 10 minutes, which is 10 bars, it's not going up. Look at this, folks. From the high that we made back here to the low that we came down here, and we make a beautiful A, B, C, D, and you notice we have divergence in the RSI and the stochastics and the MACD at that point right there. Oh, that also happens to be, Johnny's waving his hand in the back of the room. That happens to be, it's not a 282, it's not a 482, it's a 382. Right on the money, honey. And that gives you potentially an A, B, C, D. unless these markets start to rally. So that's what I'm seeing here. Tomorrow it'll just be me. Next week we're going to have a whole slew of guests, unless there's another hurricane somewhere. And so we'll have to pay a very, very close attention to us. We were actually talking to somebody in Fort Myers yesterday, right in the middle of that. And what they were showing on TV was not what she was seeing out her front door, and she's right in the midst of it. So be careful what you see, folks. It's not always what you think it is. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and let's try it again, Larry. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, okay? Because you don't know how long the old roulette wheel is going to go for you. All right, folks. We'll see you soon, and then tomorrow on the flip side. May God bless.